Hello there friends, Ken here. Welcome back for another Binding of Isaac daily run. Now, bit of an experiment today because I'm using the Steam controller. Now, I'll pause it for a second so I can talk about this briefly. I've got a Steam controller in. I'm doing a video on it which is going to cover some first impressions on a bunch of different games and different genres. Just trying it out, seeing how the interface works, seeing how it feels with different things. That'll come hopefully this week. It kind of depends how long it takes me to record, because I can only record at certain hours of the day where there's enough light to get a good view on the camera, sort of natural light, so it looks nice. But that's in the works. Also, I have to fit it in around my other schedule, of course. But I'm going to try it out here because I did play a little bit of the Binding of Isaac and I kind of liked it, so we're going to go with that and see how it works. We got the D6 today, and it looks like we're going to the dark room, I think. Is that what that icon is? So we're just vanilla Isaac. So I'm shooting at the moment. I'm going to try shooting with the like the little circular pad thing that's on. Oh crikey, this is a lot of yellow flies. So I'm shooting with the kind of right, what would be the right analog stick, but it's just this kind of flat circular pad. And it's okay. I kind of like it. The analog stick's fine, I think. Might take a little bit of getting used to, so we might not make it as far as I would ordinarily. But I want to play a bit more of this game with it because I'm kind of intrigued on how it works. I wonder what Burning Basement Tinted Rocks look like. This kind of resembles. I mean, I guess it's just like a basement, right? So they should be fairly straightforward to spot. We'll keep an eye out for them. Right. Here we go. Got a couple of heads in here. Try and poke in on those. See if we can take them out and just get out of the way here. We got pretty decent range, so that's good. Just can outrange these old meaty fellas, the Globins or whatever they call them. I always forget the official names of things. Because, you know, like back in Original Isaac, the only time you saw their names was in the credits. And I guess now, I don't even know if you see their names in the credits anymore. So, it's one of those things where... Oh man, I can't take hits from these guys. One of those things where I just end up forgetting what they're called. Right, okay. Now we want to go down. Don't want to go into the curse room yet. We'll bop over here. Oh, I don't like this room at all. What was off there? The shop. Well, we don't want to go in the shop anyway. So let's leave that room well clear for now, because that could be the death of us quite easily. And we'll head up over here. Pretty quiet room here as well. There's a thing to press, but doesn't look like it's going to be one we can do too much with. So just be careful of these guys. Oh, we're facing either way on them, so gotta be cautious there. And there he pops up. And we dodge around him. Lovely stuff. Just having a look around. I'm still trying to work out what the Burning Basement Tinted Rocks look like. Oh, hello there, Dr. Fetus. Don't mind if I do, I suppose. It could be quite a fun one. We might just die in the next like 2 seconds, especially if I do something like that. I guess while we're here, we should probably look for like secret rooms if we have Dr. Fetus, because he's pretty good for that. And I guess you should blow up some rocks and see if anything cool's hiding in those rocks. You might find a crawl space. At some point, you have to kind of weigh the value of doing this, but given that we don't have a lot of health, might be worth our while just to kind of experiment. Okay, nothing going on. Oh, I've blown myself up. The one thing I didn't want to happen. And then we're trapped in a corner and I've died. Oh dear. Yeah, that didn't go super well. But I might do... in fact, I'm just going to do a run. I'm going to stick a run on this, which is kind of weird. But I want to... let's do a Blue Babe run, because they don't tend to last very long. I want to give this a little bit more testing. just as the crow flies. Also, I've still been playing more on the Vita, which means I'm inevitably pushing the wrong button to use my item. Because normally on the Vita it's the right trigger, and on this it's the left trigger. I could actually probably just swap those controls around so as not to confuse myself all the time. But where's the fun in that, eh? So yeah, this Steam controller feels pretty good for Binding of Isaac. It has you get a little bit of the haptic feedback when you switch between one of the 4 directions of shooting. So what that means is when I roll from like shooting left to shooting down, you get a little tick on that you can feel in the controller, and not like the tick in game, but yeah, just like you feel a little bump on sort of on the controller, and that lets you know that you've moved around, and it kind of replicates the feeling of bumping over between buttons on a D-pad, which is kind of nice, just to let you know that you've switched. You know, even though like it's pretty obvious from looking in game, but I find that like one of my biggest problems with the analog stick is not really knowing where I'm at on it, and having that just tiny bit of feedback is kind of very nice. It's kind of subliminal but useful information to have. Real good. Well, I was going to say real good bomb there, but in fact it's opened up a crawl space for us. But it has been pretty good, really. 2 hearts, not especially useful for the blue baby. But we'll check out the crawl space, see what's going on. Oh, I don't like this haunt. It's going to kill us. It might actually kill us. Please don't kill us, Mr. Haunt. No! Not like this. Why? Oh. What a bad way to go. As you know, at some point, I can't blame this entirely on the new controller, but it's going to take a little bit of getting used to. So why not do it now? Not too much at stake. Just exploring a little bit. We'll call this the last one, even if it's quite short. And I might do some sort of practice on my own time if I fancy that. Look out for this guy. Always clear out the poop, especially as blue baby, because if you can get a petrified poop, that works really well to synergize with your poop item, of course. So can be kind of useful to shoot the poop. Even more so. I mean, you should always shoot the poop unless you're in a rush. And given that we're not doing the daily challenge anymore, not too much of a rush. I don't think there was anything set to the paddles. No, it doesn't look like it. So it's got these 2 back paddles on the Steam controller, which you'll see when that video's up. But doesn't look like anything's been set to be on those. Honestly, I don't know what you would, what other buttons you would want to map for Isaac. So probably not too useful, but might come in handy at some point. But probably not for the Binding of Isaac. I mean, they do come in handy in other games. It's nice to have an extra button to do sort of bits and bobs as you go. Use it for steer. Like probably my favourite thing is in a driving game to use them for. To use them for clutching or for changing gears up and down, kind of like a flappy paddle gearbox equivalent. Well, I mean, we saw how facing a single little haunt went a second ago, although that was in one of those awkward. I've never really had to fight like an actually dangerous enemy in one of those crawl spaces before, and it's awkward, like really awkward. They're a real pain. They're kind of like the mini Gemini guy, but I would say almost more difficult to fight on a general basis. I do not like fighting them, I'll say that much. Oh, he went for the full spray. That full spray is difficult to avoid unless you're right at the back. Like the laser's okay. I say that now, I'll die to the laser, but I feel like the laser's a little bit easier to dodge than the full spray. The that 5 shot is quite something to try and get away from. Remember, that laser will go across the rocks, so I do have to be careful of that. Thankfully, he seems to be firing it mostly at the same point. Okay, now he's changed it up. So it's a toughie. But this is like this here where I'm not really doing too much. Steam joystick feels okay. You know, it's oh, I'm dead. Certainly manageable. The Steam controller's okay. I might actually continue doing dailies with it for a bit and see how they go. But for now, I'm gonna wrap that up because in a bit, you know, getting back into the PC version. But I like the Steam controller for Binding of Isaac. It's actually one of my favourite implementations of it so far. I might toy around with the controls and see. Actually, I'm going to look in and see what the control options are now, because there is you can I know you can fiddle with this stuff, and I can say like oh, I want to swap item and drop. I think that's maybe a good idea, because now it's consistent for me across my different ways of playing the game. So there we go, and that's going to do it for now. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this, albeit short run, and I'll catch you on the next one. So be sure to bop that like button, subscribe to the channel for more gameplay, usually better gameplay, but not always, and keep an eye out for my Steam controller video, which will be probably going up in a few days after this comes out. Yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers!